what I am confident of is that after a very rocky start to healthcare.gov, we have seen a significant increase in enrollments, in signups, and we passed the 3 million mark. So I can predict that it'll be above 3 million when the next figures are announced.
Actually, we know the January figures, but Jay Carney was addressing that and the growth in Obamacare. I wonder if Obamacare has turned a corner overall, because the numbers from January, 1.2 million people enrolled, bringing the total to 3.3 million people overall. Austin Peterson is the editor of the Libertarian Republic. Austin, have we turned the corner as far as Obamacare is concerned?
Well, yeah, this is the triumph of lowered expectations, my friend. You know, the 3.3 million that they suggesting are a million short of what they anticipated in January. So I don't quite understand all these headlines that are talking about Obamacare on track. And also, they're not talking about the two major problems with this. One, they have no idea how many people have actually paid their premium. If they haven't paid their premium, they can't get insurance. And two, how many people who they're including in these numbers actually lacked insurance and weren't just canceled? Because if you'll remember, something like 4.7 million policyholders had their insurance canceled, but a lot of people just may have come over for that reason. So are we really seeing new signups? That's not what these numbers are telling us.
No, and indeed, wasn't there a December 31st deadline that was extended out? So, I mean, there was some urgency in the month of December and January, right?
Yeah, there was some urgency because everybody thought there was going to be a deadline. Well, now they're talking about, you know, he's got this new tactic where he's pushing these employer deadlines back, so nobody really knows what's going on. Again, there's a lot of confusion in this. And Kathleen Sebelius was sort of touting the increased numbers of young people. Well, she's touting an increase of 25% to 27% when the whole program relies on 40%. So right now, this program is still in big trouble. It's underwater. And if they don't change tactics, then there's no way that they're going to be able to do it. And one thing that's really telling, you know, if you think about this, this is a really big deal. The CBO report that came out didn't take a look at the amount of jobs that are being lost due to Obamacare. They talked about 2.5 million jobs being lost due to Obamacare. But think about this. One of the things that the CBO report didn't look at were all of the employers who are not going to be hiring. They said that this isn't an important number or we can't look at the statistic. But how many employers are just not going to hire people based on the fact that they have a mandate?
I think that actually was what the CBO was focused on in terms of job opportunities, not immediate job losses per se, but still a significant number of job opportunities not going to be appearing.
Right, and the administration has come out with these absolutely Stalinist tactics. They're saying that you have to, as an employer, swear on your IRS form that you won't cut jobs or that you didn't cut jobs, based on Obamacare. The government is saying that if you cut people based on Obamacare, you better not do it, or you have to swear by dictate on your forms that you didn't cut jobs due to Obamacare. But come on, what employer on earth hasn't cut jobs based on tax expectations? Remember, Obamacare was declared a tax by the Supreme Court, and it's a perfectly legitimate business function to cut jobs based on the fact that you can't pay the taxes for those jobs. And the administration is saying you have to swear on your IRS forms that you didn't do it. Again, this is a Stalinist tactic, and it's absolutely ludicrous.
You know, at its genesis, Obamacare was there to provide affordable health care for people, that can't get it through their job, something along those lines. That was considered a very small portion of the population per se, and it was deemed as somewhat attractive. Are we seeing any of that play out?
Not really. I mean, if you want to talk about something that's attractive, in Illinois, they've got this Obamacare peddlers that are out there pushing it, and they're saying they're doing a Valentine's Day promotion, and they're saying, well, if you want to get a hot date, why don't you start talking about Obamacare, because every woman wants a guy who has insurance. I mean, how disgusting is this? Come on. They're basically saying that if you want to get a date, you need to find a gold digger because she's going to want a guy who has insurance. These are the tactics of this administration. They're totally disgusting, and they're screwing up our entire healthcare system. So happy Valentine's Day, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you'll find some gold digger who wants a guy who has Obamacare.
The gold diggers might be on the other foot, Austin. I was looking at the numbers. 55% of the people that are enrolling are female, as opposed to 45% that are male.
Yeah, I know. Well, ladies tend to not take risks, just like guys. But again, the government doesn't. The government shouldn't be involved in making decisions based on who takes risks and who doesn't. They're trying to pick winners and losers, and again, the ladies win on this one. But guys like me, we get left out in the cold.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now Obamacare then, as it was being played by the Democrats, is getting fixed over time. They don't have the computer problems, those kinds of things. Will the Republicans be able to have the same currency come the fall elections on the issue of Obamacare?
Well, that's a great question. You know, Senator Rand Paul is talking about bringing a lawsuit against the president because of Obamacare. The problem with that is whether or not Senator Paul would have standing. Remember, you have to actually, have been harmed or affected by a law adversely in order to bring a lawsuit. So right now, the Republicans are going to be in a mode where they're looking out amongst the population, trying to find victims of Obamacare. And if they can bring up enough victims and they can have standing in court to sue the president, then a lawsuit that would come out in favor of Republicans would give them a little bit more credibility to fight against Obamacare when it comes to their reelection this fall.
Okay, we'll look forward to that, Austin. Thanks for giving us the heads up there. Appreciate it.
Thanks for your time.
Austin Peterson joining us. He's the editor of The Libertarian Republic.